Hi, you have tuned into the Raging Aggron channel, and I'm your host, Djingis, and I'm here with week 5 of PSL Season 3, and today we're facing off versus my good friend Levitee and Milwaukee Marshadows. And I have to say that I'm really glad that he does not have a Marshado, because that would have been terrible for my team. But it still has a very scary team that I can't really do a ton versus. I have some ideas on how to break it, but yeah, his team is Heatran, Weavile, Galvantula, Chestnut, Gligar, Quagsire, Megalatios, Milotic, Mimikyu, Nihilego, Lickilicky, and Drifblim. And overall, this team is built to stop Megalopony. Chestnut, Gligar, Quagsire, Milotic all just completely shits on Megalopony, so it's not really any idea to bring Megalopony for him in this match, which is why you don't see it here. If he brings Chestnut, Gligar, Quagsire, and Milotic, or any combination of those four, it's a good bring if I don't have Megalopony. If he does only bring one of those four, Megalopony could have come and it would have done a great deal of damage to his team. The team I am thinking that he will bring is Heatran, Weavile, Galvantula, Chestnut, Quagsire, Latios, with Milotic, Mimikyu, and Gligar as potential brings. It's either way, it's a scary team. The ones I don't think he will bring is Drifblim and Lickilicky. They don't really do anything to my team. So yeah, the reason Galvantula is a bring on his side is because I do have two very fast, scary mons, and I do have the rain opportunity as well. So webs will help him with that regard to slow my team down, which is very big for him. But the team that I brought is these 6 months. We start off with Icebreaker, our Current Black, with Titanium C, Terravolt, Focus Blast, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Fusion Bolt, 160 HP, 20 attack, 252 special attack with Quiet Nature, with 76 in speed. The reason I'm Quiet Nature and 76 in speed is because that's all the speed I need to outspeed, I think it's Heatran. Yeah. No speed Heatran and no speed Milotic, something like that. That's all speed I need to outspeed those. And either way, I wouldn't be fast enough to outspeed Megalatias, Latias, or Mimikyu. So it wasn't really any idea for me to be faster than I absolutely needed. I'd rather have the bulk to take hits. The reason I have Titanium C here is because in case he brings Lickilicky, I need to break it, and this is the only thing I have that can break Lickilicky. If I don't have Megalopony. So it was like either way I go Life Orb with Choice Specs, or I go Titanium Focus Blast, and Titanium Focus Blast is what I had to go with since I didn't bring Megalopony. But he has nothing for this thing. I think the only thing that can take hits from this is I mean, if he has a combination of Gligar and Quagsire, they can switch back and forth in a prediction game. But even then, I can just click Ice Beam. That is guaranteed 2 KO on both of them. In Gligar's case, it's a 1-hit KO, so it's not that big of a deal. Same with Milotic. If he brings Milotic Gligar, I can still, that will be a bit hard, but I can still deal with it because Fusion Bolt is a 2-hit KO guaranteed, and he can switch back and forth how many times as he wants to either. So this Current Black just destroys his team. It's very good to have. Next up we have Mudvayne, our Seismitoad, with Assault Vest, Water Absorb, Drain Punch, Knockoff, Scald, Earthquake with 248 HP, 252 defense with 80 special defense with the Sassy Nature. This is just here to give him some extra bulk because his team hits pretty hard. Between Weavile and Chestnut and Megalatias, Mimikyu, Nihilego, I needed something that could take hits on both sides, and that I could just have as a pivot that it didn't really do too much if I lost during the match. So Seismitoad is actually just here to make sure that I can take hits from both sides and that I have a pivot into monster that I don't really want to switch anything on. So it's just there to be sacked off really, but still have some form of purpose during the match to take some hits and whatnot. So yeah, it's not terrible bad to have, but it sucks that I actually planned to bring this as something to sack off. But hey, I'm fine with it. Drain Punch, Knockoff, Scald, Earthquake is everything I need to have some form of longevity or to put pressure on his team, so that's fine as well. Next up we have a Monomarth, our Tapu Koko with Life Orb, Electric Surge, U-Turn, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ground, Dazzling Gleam, 40 HP, 252 special attack with 216 speed, naive nature. It sucks that I have to be plus speed on this thing, because if I was modest I could have done so much more damage to his team than I can now. But since he has a revive, I have to be plus speed nature. Dazzling Gleam is guaranteed to hit KO on Mega Latias either way, so that's fine, I guess. It also stops Chestnut, so it's no big problem really. HP Ground is there to stop Heatran, of course. Can somewhat deal with Nihilego as well. Thunderbolt just hits his team pretty hard, and U-turn is just there to get out. So yeah, it's more of a situational bring here. So if it doesn't bring any ground coverage, I can just spam T-Bolt, which will be perfect for me. But yeah, I'm fine with either way. I'm fine with whatever he does here. So Monomorph is just a pretty decent month to put on a lot of pressure on his team. It sucks that I had to bring it though, because Galvantula now has 100% accurate Thunders that are stab in electric terrain, which is also a reason that I have Mudvayne and Slipknot on this team that we'll talk about later. But next up we have X-Deo, our Necrozma with leftovers, Prism Armor, Moonlight, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and Photon Geyser. 252 HP, 4 special attack, and 252 special defense with Calm Nature. Yes, I know that I have an even HP number, but I'm fine with that. I don't really care, because this thing, that extra point of HP actually makes it so that Mega Latias at, well, if this is stored power set, so it has max HP, max speed, and no special attack investments, that makes it so that unless it's like +2 or +3, it's a guaranteed 4-hit KO when you use the stored power. Moonlight is just there to give longevity, of course. Dark Pulse deals good amount of damage to everything on his team. Earth Power is there to 1-hit KO Heatran, and can somewhat deal with Galvantula as well. And Photon Geyser is just there to deal crazy amount of damage to everything that comes in my way. Earth Power is there for Nihilego as well, of course. He can't break this thing. If he hits a normal Latios, like a Roost free attacking Latios, this thing can take 5 hits from it without dying, unless it has like Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball does less than 50%, so I can just Moonlight the damage off. So that's no problem for me at all. So this is just a solid bring overall versus this team. Outside of Galvantula and Weavile, he can't really touch this either, which is perfect for me. So yeah, I'm fine with that. It also puts a lot of pressure on who he wants to switch in on it, because if I fire off a Photon Geyser, something will die if it's not resisted, which is great. Next off, we have Slipknot with Ferrothorn, Choppleberry, Iron Barbs, Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, 252 HP, 4 attack, and 252 defense with Relaxed Nature. Cyan, well, I wanted to bring Leftovers Iron Barbs or Rocky Helmet Iron Barbs, but Cyan convinced me to bring Choppleberry. I'm not a big fan of bears because they are very situational, and I'd rather have the longevity that Leftovers can supply with, especially if you have the Leech Seed recovery for Ferrothorn. So I wasn't that big on it, but I decided to go with it either way, and we'll have to see if it will do anything good for me. Hopefully it does, but I'm not so sure. As I said, I'm not a fan of bringing berries. But hopefully it does something for us. This is just here to be a check to a lot of things. Weavile can't 2-hit KO it unless it's choice banded. Even if it's choice banded, it is a roll off the Stealth Rocks. Chestnut, if it is defensive with no attack investments, cannot 2-hit KO me unless it has Hammer Arm. Mimikyu can't 2-hit KO me unless it has +4 attack. And the special attack is needed fire moves to do crazy damage to this thing. So I'm fine either way. It's a good bring to have in my opinion. So it just does exactly what it needs to do in this matchup. And last but not least, we have Thin Lizzy, our Shiftry, Choice Scarf, Pickpocket, Knockoff, Leaf Blade, Brick Break, and Defog. 252 attack with Adamant Nature, 8 defense, 8 special defense, and 240 speed. Now, if you didn't watch the last video, I traded Ariados for Shiftry for this week. I traded Ariados for Shiftry, not Shiftry for Ariados. But yeah, so I have Shiftry now instead of Ariados, and I feel like that will suit my team better because it gives me another defogger. It gives me Stab Dark that I don't have prior. It gives me a good knockoff user. It gives me a base 80 mon, which is pretty decent to have. It gives me a base 100 attack that can do a lot of things. It has chlorophyll as well, so in case I want to bring sun sometimes, I can do that. Well, I'm just going to check. You do have chlorophyll, right? Yeah, you do have chlorophyll, so that's no problem. And in this case, I just needed another grass type to do some damage here. I needed the Leaf Blade because that's a guaranteed 2 KO on Milotic and on Quagsire, and knockoff is just there great to have versus this entire team. Brick Break is a 2 KO on a lot of things, or even 1 KO on a lot of things that are super effective. And Defog is just there so I can get rid of rock, so I can get the maximum usage out of my Curum Black. But yeah, this is my team. Hopefully we can pick up a win here after our loss versus T-Man last week. But I'm going to take a short break, and then I'm going to be over and covering the battle shortly. Okay, so here we are at the battle, and well, the team he brought was a bit of a surprise to me. He brought Lickilicky, Chestnut, Heatran, Galvantula, Weavile, and Nihilego. This team I could have destroyed with Megalopony minus Chestnut. If I just got rid of Chestnut, I mean, even so I have Megalopony gets bounce, so I could still have dealt with Chestnut, so it wouldn't be that bad. But I'm kind of surprised, and I was kind of sad that I did not bring Megalopony, but I don't think that will matter too much. This is just a very favorable matchup in my opinion. He has nothing that can really take care of Necrozma, especially not if he's a normal web-setting Galvantula. And looking at his team, Lickilicky is just there to wish support, so he probably has Wish Toxic, Protect, Knock Off, something like that. Heal Bell, so I can easily deal with that. If it does not have Protect, it's not a threat at all. Chestnut I can deal with pretty easy, in my opinion. I have enough coverage for that. Heatran is no problem at all for me. He has like what? Heatran is ground, Nihilego is ground as well. Weavile is fighting. I mean, he has four quad weaknesses here, and fighting is just good versus him all over because he has 3 weaknesses to it, and only 1 really good check to it in Chestnut, so I have that as well. Yeah, I mean, overall, this is a very weak team that he brought. I'm not that scared when I'm going into this matchup, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised he brought these mons, because I have no idea what they can do versus me if he has some hidden tech or something like that. Like he can be, instead of the normal Focus Sash or Life Orb Galvantula, he could be Choice Scarf, could be Choice Specs. Heatran could be literally anything here, since it doesn't have since outside of Weavile and Nihilego has no offensive power at all, in my opinion. Galvantula can be power, but versus my team it's not power at all. Especially not if it's choiced. If it's choice scarfed, Life Orb I can deal with as well, so I'm not too scared of it. He won't get the opportunity to set up spikes or rocks versus my team because I have so much pressure opportunity versus him. So I'm really glad in the matchup going into the match. So let's see how we do in the match. I'm gonna turn off the music. Yeah, good. So let's see what happens here. He leads with Galvantula, I leads with Tapu Koko. I do this to get the U-turn off, but he clicks Thunder, and that almost kills me. And I click Dazzling Gleam just to get some damage off. And he has to be Choice Scarf at this point, because I'm faster than Max Speed Galvantula. So he's Scarf with Thunder in Electric Terrain, which is scary. But I do think that he will switch out here, as well as I do. Yeah, he does, and I just go straight out as well, and I got into Fairthorn. I'm fine with this. I set up my Stealth Rocks here, forcing him to try and do things. He goes for the HP Grass, predicting my predicting my Seismitoad here, scaring me off with the fire. And I wasn't gonna say, if I had a Bulldoze or whatever I had last week on Fairthorn, I would have stayed in and clicked that versus Heatran and got rid of that. But I didn't get up his Stealth Rocks, which means that I think that he's more offensive. But the Assault Vest helped me out big time here. I just go for EQ here, doing a little bit of damage. I think he clicked Drain Punch to gain some health back, and then I click Knock Off after he clicks Wish here. If I click Drain Punch again, I click Knock Off to get rid of his leftovers, and in case he switches, he clicks Toxic. I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, Mudvayne here is just here to be sacked off, but I decided to go out into Ferthorn here as he click another wish. And he clicks Toxic, I have no clue why, but I click Leech Seed here just to force this thing out. And he clicks Disable, I'm fine with that, because I'm just gonna click Knock Off again, because the only thing I can do now is predicting him to switch, and he goes out into Heatran, and I go for the knockoff, and no more Berry on this thing, which is huge. It's really, really big. I can get into Necrozma here. He goes for his own Stealth Rocks. That won't bother me at all at this point of the game, because he has nothing that can stay in on my Mons. So I just go for the Earth Power here, and that's no problem really. He goes out into Weavile here, and he clicks Ward Stance. And at this point, okay, I know that I could live a non-choice banded or non-life orb, whatever, hit from the low kick, but I do not, without the Chapel Berry, but I do not know if I can survive +2 hits. Hopefully I can now with Chapel Berry. And can I do it? Yeah, easily, no problem at all, and he's almost dead, and I go for the Dry Ball and kill him out for Ferthorn with another kill. And he goes out into this thing. I just decided to go out into Seismitoad. I have no real use of anything else here. He goes for the HP Fire, which is resisted. At this point, I'm just gonna sack off Mudvayne. And now we can just go out into Tapu Koko. Just to see what he's gonna do. I'm just gonna go for the something powerful. I'm just go for the Dazzling Gleam. Thinking that he was gonna go into Chestnut here. But he did not. Instead, I mean, if I could have gone for Thunderbolt here, and that would have killed. So that was maybe a misplay, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't change the outcome at this point in the game, because his team's pretty low, and he has nothing that can take a hit from Pure and Black. I click Earth Power. Yeah, okay, sure, you can survive the Earth Power. But can you survive this? No. So I need to explain myself here. The reason I went for Earth Power was because I thought he was gonna switch and save this thing, but he did not. And then I thought that he was gonna click Protect just to get the 50% health back, but I did not want him to get the Protect off, so I decided to go for all-out pummeling to get rid of his what's it called? Well, get rid of his Protect and still kill him. So bye-bye Licky. He goes out into this thing here, and I just go straight out into Necrozma. And nothing on his team can out-take on Necrozma. Eventually will die to rocks, and everything else dies to this thing. So he goes with the Continental Crush, and I misclicked here, which saved me because I clicked Moonlight. The reason I say misclick was because in the game I clicked Earth Power. And, well, I thought I clicked Earth Power. Turns out I clicked Moonlight. And I did not plan to click Moonlight at all. It just happened, because I clicked Earth Power, but right besides Earth Power I had a Moonlight in the match. So yeah, I clicked Moonlight instead, which actually made sure that I won the game. So I don't really know what to say, but I still think that I would have won without it, because it should be faster than Chestnut and Heatran, so I don't know if that mattered, and even if so, the mons I had left could easily take care of his 2 mons that he had, because Shift 3 hasn't even entered the field yet, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, now I'm at that health, and he switches out into Heatran, and I just go for the Earth Power here, kills Heatran, and he sacks off Galvantula, if I remember correctly here. Yeah, since I was Galvantula, killing it off, so another kill for Slipknot. And he goes for Sludge Wave here, which doesn't really do anything. I just click Earth Power, and that kills his Nihilego. And he forfeits here, and we all know that what would have happened if he doesn't out Chestnut. Chestnut couldn't kill me with anything. And I do know that my I forgot the name of it. The psychic type move I had would have the Photon Geyser would have killed Chestnut even if it was at full health, so that's no problem at all for me. So we won this match 4-0, and we are currently 4-1, being second in the division right now, and I think we are third or fourth in the league, which is great. Way better. I mean, I've done way better than I thought I would do. I just feel like the power between Pure and Black, Tapu Koko, and Mega Open is way too much to handle for most teams. They don't have any defensive response to that. And even my defensive ones can be very offensive. I've used Ferthorn very well offensively, I think Ferrothorn has 5 or 6 kills this season, and only 2 of them are for Stealth Rocks or Leech Seed. The rest, well, 3 now. So I have done very well with Ferrothorn as well. Necrozma can be very offensive no matter what you bring, so I have a lot of versatility on my team, and I think that's very good for me. So yeah. I don't have the bulk that I really want to have on the team. I'm feeling a bit naked without it, because I can't really do the things that I want to do. But I managed to play around it pretty well, in my opinion. I feel like this is a team that suits me better than I thought it would do. So I just have straight power on this team, which is very, very good. And it helps me a lot. And I just feel like I have the matchup almost every single week when I actually go into the match. And if I don't play as I played last week versus T-Man, I could easily win every single match with the mons that I have on my team. I just need to make sure that I bring the right mons for the right match and have the right sets and yada 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 yada. And if I do that, I have a chance every single game without any problem. The problem now becomes that I'm facing, this week we are facing, well, this week, week 6, we're facing Lucina, one of the better coaches in the league. And we're facing directly after him, we are facing Jessup, who is the back-to-back champion of PSL, but as of right now, he's outside of the top 6, so he's actually losing out on playoff. No, he's not. Sorry, that was Lucina dropped out of top 6. My bad. Lucina dropped out of top 6, and Jessup is right behind me in the standings. And he is at number 3, and we are sitting at the 2nd place in the division. So, yeah, I have 2 very hard matches to go through these 2 upcoming weeks. If we win those 2, we are 100% going to be in the playoffs. If I lose both of them, we still have a chance to go to playoffs, but we won't be in the top 2 positions, so we have an extra match to play, which I have no problem with. But if we manage to win 2 of both the games, week 6 and week 7, we should be able to claim a top 2 position and go directly to the semifinals, if I remember correctly. Well, not semifinals, quarterfinals. Quarter or semifinals, doesn't really matter, but yeah. We're going a bit farther into the playoffs than we should have had otherwise. So yeah, without further ado, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you later, hopefully with another win.